Good morning and welcome to UUCP, Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola. My name is Laura Keith King and I'm a member here and I'm your service leader today. I want to take a few minutes to welcome all of our old friends, members, and guests. You are all beloved and we are thrilled to see you here. All right, now we will light our chalice. We light this chalice to celebrate the inherent worth and dignity of every person, to reaffirm the historic pledge of liberal religion to seek that justice which transcends merely legality and moves toward the resolution of true equality, and to share that love which is ultimately beyond even our cherished reason, that love which unites us. All right, our upcoming message today is the importance of female perspective in successful corporate social responsibility initiatives. And this is a very important topic to me because for 20 or 30 years, I worked in careers that were typically male-dominated jobs, or jobs that were typically male-dominated professions. So I've had my experience with convincing people that as a woman I could still do that job, and convincing people that my voice was valid. This is a very important topic still. Women are still not necessarily treated the same way that men are treated. And you'll see that when we watch our following video. But I have 3 quotes that Maggie brought to me. No human sees the world in its entirety. And by Melinda French Gates, the wife of Bill Gates, wisdom isn't about accumulating more facts, it's about understanding big truths in a deeper way. And by Ruth Bader Ginsburg, women belong in all places where decisions are made. It shouldn't be that women are the exception. The following video is very demonstrative of how much more progress there still is yet to be made. So if you couldn't read that from back in the back, the voice of the man at the end was Dwayne Johnson, but the man was played by Taylor Swift, who has received a lot of criticism for things like she's not married yet, she's had too many boyfriends. Okay. Now, if you are willing and able, please stand for the recitation of the covenant. Love is the spirit of this church and service its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And please remain standing if you want, and we are going to have the choir come up and we'll sing Draw the Circle Wide. The words will be on the screen.
No one stands alone.
This is a lovely little video, and afterwards we will sing the children out.
I like being you, said the reflection in the mirror. To me, you are perfectly perfect.
All right, now for those children who are going to go out at this point, we will sing them out. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Now is the time during our service where we collect the offering. And I see we have a couple of people ready with baskets. The choir is going to come forward and sing for you this song. Well, before I introduce the song, keep in mind that our church is supported solely by us and the things that we do to raise money. So do your best to participate. And this song was written by Rivka and Mike Kilmer. Mike is our new pianist. We're so thrilled to have him. And they wrote this song, and we get to sing it. Is this the first public performance of this song? Yes, well, except for Mike saying it to us one other time, but this is the first choir public performance. This morning, it is my great pleasure to introduce Maggie Thomley Williams, the principal of Thomley Consulting. Maggie has a vision for thriving communities where leaders in business and philanthropy work together for good and lasting change. She has worked with hundreds of entities, everything from small businesses to Fortune 500 companies, such as Wind Creek Casino and Hotel, PCI Enterprises, Alabama Tourism, Impact 100, and local chambers of commerces. Please welcome Maggie Thomley Williams.
Thank you for the warm welcome. And I must say that Laura and Nancy have been so helpful with me I am new to your service and to the principles of Unitarian Universalist Church, and I thank you for inviting me here. So the importance of female perspective in successful corporate social responsibility initiatives. What's that all about? It's been around since Proverbs 31 was written. That woman owns 5 businesses. She's very successful, and she gave back. She even gave a full portion to her servant girl, the very least in that household. Didn't eat scraps at her house on her watch. She was well cared for. However, we don't know the name of this woman. She didn't have a voice. She didn't get to tell her own story, and it's the same today. Women don't have that voice that was mentioned earlier. We need to tell our own stories. We need to share in the creation of the stories. So what is corporate social responsibility? It is the giving back. It is businesses making money, having funds to serve people, whether it's the servant girl or whether it's somebody in the community who needs help with education or health care or any of those things where they're lacking. I always tell my clients to begin with the business mission, values, and the vision when they're deciding what initiatives they will give back to. So a mission statement has to do with where the organization, what they're doing in the present. The Council on Aging of Pensacola has this as their mission statement: facilitating the service needs of consumers so that they can age safely with dignity and purpose in their own homes or elderly-friendly communities. That's a mission. And a vision projects where the company wants to be in the future. It's the what of their existence. Lowe's, for example, says this: we will provide customer-valued solutions with the best prices, products, and services to make Lowe's the first choice for home improvement. That is their vision. And the core values, which this organization so beautifully shares. And I love that you bring it to attention in every service. And this is why you're here. And that's the important thing, is remembering why you're here. Integrity, curiosity, fun, generous stewardship, innovation, any of those things can be a core value. So when a business chooses nonprofits to partner with that reflect their mission and their vision, that's when they can be most successful. For example, Bella Magazine in town, it's the women's magazine, and they support Favor House, which is a place women go when they have been in abusive relationships. There's a symbiotic relationship there. Crumble Cookies, they provide cookies in their business life, but they also partner with Capstone University, which helps disabled children. Nothing goes better together than cookies and kids, but also the owners of Crumble Cookie have a child with Down syndrome. It makes all the sense in the world to work together with those organizations who support the mission, vision, and values of the business. And it's important to include the attributes that have been traditionally associated with women, like compassion and emotion, whenever we're deciding what organizations we're going to partner with. And I submit to you that it's just as important to use things like compassion and emotion, as well as bottom line, when we're choosing what to do with our businesses. If you follow political news lately, you probably know that government is really not supporting inclusion, not supporting acceptance. I worked with a civil rights attorney one time, and he said in the 60s, when he was fighting for civil rights, nothing changed until the laws changed. Where are the laws changing now? Where are the voices of women who can have an impact to make those laws what they should be? Sometimes society moves backwards, and I think we may be in some of those times now. So women should and can have leadership in those roles. We can include gender age, belief, and other dividers, because we are all humans, and that should be our great unifier. Respecting the unique makeup of each individual supports the first UU principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. The best decisions in business or in our personal lives happen at the head, heart, and gut intersection. That's why women with their compassion and emotion should be a part of those decisions. And the best time to make those decisions are when a business is establishing their mission, their vision, their values, because that's when we as individuals are at our most cooperative, our most egalitarian, and our most aspirational, not months into the business when we're looking at the balance statement. We should also seek mutual benefit for the business and for the beneficiary. That supports the Unitarian Universalist seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Because if the business if the business that is owned by a woman or the business that pays a paycheck to a woman isn't successful, if their corporate social responsibility objectives are not successful, the business will fail. There will be nothing to give back to the community or to our society. We should all be good stewards of our time, talent, and treasure. In business, when we establish the measurable outcomes of those partnerships with the nonprofits and with our businesses, and we have internal measures, we can report back what has been successful. We can report the volunteer hours that we have worked together with a community organization. We can report back how many meals have been served, how many children have been housed, how many children have attended a youth camp or an event. We can measure corporate visibility if we expand our footprint and how many people know who we are and what we do. We can grow our business. We can have more opportunity for corporate social responsibility initiatives. So communicating that, one of those uniquely women attributes, then we can tell our success stories. We can celebrate with the people that we serve. We can celebrate with our team. And we can create more engagement so that our employees want to stay with us and that our customers want to stay with us. So men, how can you help us with this inclusivity? Simply invite women to the clubs and the organizations that you're involved with. Support women's ideas when they bring them up in a meeting. How many times have you ladies been in a meeting when you said an idea or another woman did and nobody responded, but 5 minutes later a man repeated exactly the same thing? And it's a great idea. So how about this? For the men in the room, if you hear a great idea, say, that's a great idea that Nancy just had. Could we hear more about that? Or Barbara, tell us more about that. If there's a job opportunity in your corporation, invite women to apply for that job. Just come alongside us. And also be mindful and inquisitive if initiatives that are supported by your corporate social responsibility equally provide services for all genders. A seat at the table doesn't necessarily mean equality. Just because a woman is in the room when the meeting happens doesn't mean anything will go further than that. We all tend to think that we understand that we're different, but we usually tend to think that our different is the better different. Just a little bit more enlightened, more evolved, or the best for whatever reason, because we're human. Growing up in Alabama, I knew about racial segregation and racial conflicts, and I grew up in a family that valued males much more than females. So when I thought of inclusivity, I thought black, white, male, female. I did not know there's so much more to that. Differently abled. There are more than two colors in this world. And I was exclusive out of ignorance, but I was still exclusive because I wasn't mindful to include others. So it's the same when we establish leadership for corporate social responsibility programs. We don't necessarily know what we don't know. Sunday's Child is a very good organization in this town to help your business to see where there might be hiccups in your inclusion and in your programs. They may be aware that I had a website that was not easily accessible to people who had vision challenges. Nothing that had ever occurred to me. I was ignorantly exclusive. The second principle, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. We each bear some truth, but not all truth. We have to engage our team members whenever we are making our programs for corporate social responsibility. And that's becoming more and more important as organizations create their own foundations rather than working through United Way or the Red Cross. They want the name recognition for creating and directly donating funds to various organizations. So that turns the responsibility to the corporate leadership, not to that third-party nonprofit who might be more inclusive, who might be more aware of needs rather than the bottom line. Also, corporate social responsibility, marketing, creating strategies, everything in business is starting to rely on artificial intelligence, AI. You've probably all heard a little bit about it. It's kind of like Google on steroids, or back in the day when we had Cliff Notes. But some of you remember those. But AI just gathers information that is out there. And that information is primarily generated by Christian, white, cis, young, educated males. Think about that. Businesses are beginning to base their data on information provided by that one exclusive group. We have to find ways to seek deeper intersectionality in our experiences. Where's the black trans woman in the wheelchair represented in that group? Who speaks to the aged Buddhist? And who will come to the aid of that servant girl that I mentioned earlier? Bernice King, Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter, said this: if you don't think representation matters, you're probably well represented. So while we don't necessarily intend harm or intend to exclude everyone or anyone, it happens because no one sees the world as a whole. No one has had the same experiences as you or you or you. We have to broaden the people who are helping to make the decisions. Your preference is not universal, nor your experience, nor your education, or your beliefs, or myriad other differences. Right hand, left hand, your money, your travels, all those things make us different. But the intentional inclusion of females and others, anyone who is not white, male, cis, Christian, educated, and fully able, enhances our lives, our communities, and supports the principles of unity. Every leader in business and the community is responsible to proactively include females to support the time, talent, and treasure embodied in each of us. It's good for business, it's good for the communities where we live, and it supports the values of liberty and justice that our countries celebrate this weekend. Namaste.
Wow, that was very interesting. And we have one more hymn and some closing words. The choir is going to come up. This song is a mover. It's in your blue teal hymnal. There are a lot of them around, but they may not be right where you are, so look around so you can sing along with us. It's in 5/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. Thank you for being here today. And please join us for refreshments and fellowship in the conference room or in the lobby after the service. And now I have some closing words for you. Go forth in simplicity. Find and walk the path that leads to compassion and wisdom, that leads to happiness, peace, and ease. Welcome the stranger and open your heart to a world in need of healing. Be courageous before the forces of hate. Hold and embody a vision of the common good that serves the needs of all people. Go in peace.